Go.
Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make homemade beef jerky. Beef jerky can be a very tasty and healthy snack, however can also get quite expensive. But with the proper knowledge and the right equipment, it's easily made at home. First thing you're going to need to start out with is the ingredients. You want to have soy sauce, whether you'd like less sodium or the regular sodium is up to you. You also are going to need liquid smoke and a beef roast for the actual jerky. You're going to need a mixing bowl, a cutting board, and a very sharp knife, as well as a food dehydrator. First thing you're going to do when you're selecting your meat in the grocery store is you're going to want to look at the cut of meat. The best thing to do is to look at the side of it to check for any kind of fat marbling. The fat, if there's lots of fat marbling, it will cause your jerky to remain greasy and not stay good as long. You also want to get a piece that you can see the grains of the meat, so that way when it's sliced you can slice it with the grain of the meat, which gives you the stringing pull effect that most people want in their jerky. When you purchase your meat, you can actually have the store cut it for you. However, some prefer not to do this as they can cut it too thick or too thin. If you do have them do it, you want them to do it at less than 1/4 of an inch in size, but if they cut it too thin, it can cause you to have super dry beef jerky. So I prefer to cut my own, and when you do, you want to make sure you cut with the grain and just cut a fairly thin slice, but not too thin. For your jerky. Once you have the amount that you would like to have sliced, you then want to prepare your soy sauce. In your soy sauce, you have about 1½ or a half a cup of soy sauce to 6 to 8 drops of liquid smoke. And if you don't put your meat in, you can actually stick your finger in and taste it and see if it tastes proper for you. Then you want to place your meat in there, make sure that it gets fully saturated with the sauce, turning it over. You want to leave it in there for approximately 15 to 20 seconds. You want to leave it in there longer if your meat is thicker, and less time if your meat is thinner. Sometimes it takes a little bit of practice to see exactly how long you're going to need to leave your meat. After it's been marinated in the sauce, the amount of time you need, just simply lay it on the trays in the food dehydrator, and when you're all finished with that, you place your lid back on and turn it on high for approximately 4 hours. If you have multiple trays in your food dehydrator, you're going to want to rotate those trays to make sure that they dehydrate properly and get cooked in an even temperature. You also don't want to leave it on overnight, because if it gets too dry, then you have brick for beef jerky. And I hope that this speech gave you a little bit more knowledge as to how simple it can be to make beef jerky.